What's up, you guys? My name is Ariane, but if you're viewing this, then we're friends, we're family. You can call me Ari. Last week, I hosted a webinar that was so amazing. I hate that you missed it, but it was titled Beautifully Balanced: Beat Burnout and Reach New Goals. So during the webinar, I introduced a concept called the 5 pillars of pretty. And so, very briefly, as a recap, I want to introduce it to you as well today. Now, trust me, the webinar lasted an hour. I'm not going to do an hour of content today, number one, because I think that would be boring. The webinar was interactive. We had obviously, there were other people on there. We were exchanging information, and it was just a whole different vibe. So I won't bore you with an hour-long video training today, but I want to introduce this concept to you, and I want to just basically get the wheels turning. If this is interesting to you, if you would love to learn more, if you would, most importantly, like to figure out a way to implement this concept in your life, I would absolutely love to walk you through that. So I am currently in the enrollment phase for a course that I will be launching at the top of January. Perfect for the new year, perfect for setting new goals and just really aggressively working towards them. It's a 5-week course, and again, it's titled Beautifully Balanced. And so what I'm going to be doing is helping busy professional women such as yourself help connect the dots between their vision board and their reality. So I think at the top of the year, and not even at the top of the year, but just in general, we set goals and we begin to compartmentalize. We say, okay, I want to grow spiritually. I want to get married. I want to have a baby. I want to save this amount of money. And it's great to do that. It's great to set goals for specific areas of our life. However, when you go to working out those goals, when you get into the motion of obtaining them, it's important to do so from a holistic perspective. So just to pause for a second, because I know that that's a huge buzzword right now: holistic, wellness, self-care, all of those things. Basically, to make it as plain and simple as possible, holistic means exactly what it sounds like. It means viewing things from whole, from a perspective of as a whole. So if you are sick, whatever the issue is, you're not going to just pinpoint that one particular area. You're going to think about, okay, I'm not feeling well. What have I been eating? Have I been resting? Who have I been around? Have I been working out? You're going to think about the issue from a much broader perspective. So that's a concept that I have lived my life by for the past several years, a holistic lifestyle, and it has truly saved my life, like literally, really and truly. Like, I'll share my whole story on another video because it's too long for this, but basically I was living in my dream job, or had reached what I thought was the highest pinnacle of success. I landed my dream job as a single mother. I was earning over 6 figures. I was able to make these wonderful connections with people in my industry, earn awards, work on over 40 different film and television projects. I mean, the list goes on and on. To the outside person, to my friends and my family, I was doing it. Like, I made it. They thought like I was living a dream, and I was. However, internally, I was suffering. I was depressed. Relationships were failing. My finances were struggling, which sounds absolutely crazy because I was making a great deal of money. However, I wasn't managing it well. And I gained over 25 pounds, and just so on and so forth. But every single area of my life began to decline. And so initially, I began to compartmentalize those areas, and I began to kind of work on a plan to get each one back up to where it needed to be. But the more I built one area up, the more another one failed. And so it was not until I began to look at things from a holistic perspective and I adapted a holistic lifestyle. It wasn't until I did that I began to see improvement, until I began to truly get a handle on my finances, grow stronger in my faith, get control over my thinking and my eating, and really be intentional about my relationships. So once I adopted this holistic lifestyle, and once I began to apply what I've coined the 5 pillars of pretty, seriously, my life completely turned around. And so what inspired me to kind of transition to this space as a holistic lifestyle coach is because I still work on set, and I still see I would say 80% of my coworkers struggling with the same issues that I was struggling with. You know what I mean? Like they have a hard time managing their schedules, managing a social life and professional life because we work over 60 hours a week. They have a hard time managing their weight because we got craft services and all kind of food at our fingertips whenever we want it. They have a hard time struggling with faith, and it goes outside of my industry. It's not just unique to film and television. Women that I know in absolutely every area and facet of life, whether they be homemakers, stay-at-home mothers, school teachers, dentists, whatever professional arena they may be in, I know a woman that is suffering from burnout, who has goals that they feel like they don't have time to work towards, who are compartmentalizing all of these things that they want and are just flailing. And so I want to help. Seriously, like I've developed this concept, I've put it to test, it's worked for me, and I feel absolutely 100% called to be able to help and present it to others. So, just very briefly, I mentioned it a little bit, but the concept is coined the 5 pillars of pretty. So again, for any issue that you're struggling with, for any goal that you're working towards, I encourage you or challenge you to approach it from the perspective of faith, finances, mental health, physical health, and relational health. So again, the 5 pillars of pretty are faith, finances, mental health, relational health, and physical health. So again, those 5 things I think all have to be worked at in tandem in order to be balanced and in order to live a beautiful life. And again, if you're experiencing any type of stressor or issue, I promise you, if you go back to these 5 pillars, which are the foundation for all things, then you will begin to find solution and you'll be able to grow in various areas. So I'll share with you an example of an application of this because I had someone reach out to me, and I don't usually work with guys because I'm a woman and I relate more to women. And my goal is to, help women heal and to provide a safe space for them. But if a guy reaches out to me and has a question, I don't mind helping them. But in a group coaching session, it is women only. So anyway, I had this gentleman that reached out to me, and his question or his issue was, I'm not getting enough exposure. I'm a talented artist and I need help getting my big break. Can you help me? So I was like, no, like I can't put you on. I don't know what I can do for you was my initial thought. But I was like, you know what? Like, this is an opportunity for me to apply this 5 pillars of pretty concept. So let me walk him through this really quickly. So I encouraged him to apply this principle. And so we started with faith. And I said, number 1, you need to pray for clarity and alignment. Or valuable relationships. You know what I mean? It seemed like he had the confidence thing down packed. He kept telling me like how great he was, how wonderful of an artist he was, which was great. But sometimes I think that we get ahead of ourselves and we think that we are called to do a specific thing that we may not really truly be called to do. It can just be something that we're good at. And so your talent and your purpose aren't always the same thing. And so with that, I encouraged him to pray for clarity and to submit his goals, his plans, his vision to God. Because again, we don't ever want to operate outside of God's will. Like, that's first and foremost. So these pillars, I may interchange the words, and sometimes sometimes finances may be after mental health, but faith honestly is going to always be first. Always. So I encouraged him to grow in that area. In the area of finances, I encouraged him to invest in classes to help him grow in his artistry. He kept telling me how talented he was, but the reality is, it doesn't matter how talented you think you are. There's always an opportunity to grow. There's always an opportunity to get better. So figure out, okay, you got this problem of connecting. How can you throw your money at it? How can you make your money be a solution to this? So take classes, attend conferences, attend networking events, pay to be in the room with the people that you want to rub shoulders with, In the area of physical, it kind of tied into finances. So I asked him, how much time are you spending physically working on your craft? So that means creating art, whatever your art is, spending time every day doing it. Like, I'm a makeup artist, but I have to in my time off of, being off of set, I have to still create every single day to fine tune my craft. I have to still study. I have to still learn techniques. I still have to immerse myself in product knowledge. In this space I am as a holistic lifestyle coach, I have to constantly be taking in information, constantly learning, constantly, applying new principles to my life and sharing it with others to make sure that I'm growing and evolving in my craft. So physically, I asked him, how much time are you spending working on this? How many emails are you sending out per day? How many trade shows and, networking events are you going to connect with people? So then we moved on to the area of mental health. So, build up some confidence. That always works. You get in the room, you have to feel like you own it. You have to feel like you believe it. And so that was one that he struggled with, because again, like I told you, he came to me saying, like, I know I'm great, I know my art is excellent, I know I'm better than most people out. So he felt like he had the confidence thing down packed. But what I challenged him is also, which comes with confidence, is knowing that you don't need anybody to put you on. We're all great, and thank God for the internet. We all have the opportunity to put ourselves on. We can create whatever platform it is that we want to have. If you want to be a television host, guess what? You can now produce your own television show on YouTube or IGTV or whatever platform you choose. For this particular young man who wanted to be an artist, well, guess what? You can post your pictures on Instagram. You can slide in the DMs of potential clients. Like, there's no reason why you can't be where you want to be. You don't need to wait for anybody to put you on. And so I challenged him in that area. Yeah, you say you're confident, you say that you're super talented, but if you really believed you're in yourself the way you say you believe in yourself, you wouldn't have a problem putting yourself on, because you would know that you really do have that juice. So, and then we talked about relational health. And so this, I believe, is clutch. Like, right, it literally sits to me right after faith. But relational health is extremely important to healing, I believe, almost any issue, because we are not meant to go it alone. Like, we are communal people. Community is what grows us. Partnership is what grows us. We are meant to do this thing called life together, not in isolation, not independently. So whatever you're going through, whatever challenges you are experiencing, I promise, if you reached out to the 5 people that are closest to you and then ask them to reach out 5 people that are close to them and just share, hey man, I'm working on this, I'm launching this new business, I'm trying to get this art out, this is my goal, I promise you they can provide some insight, some solution, and connect you to some people that you didn't even think, that you had access to. So I encourage him to do just that, to foster genuine, healthy relationships, to reach out to people that he thought would be, excellent peers, and to humble himself, humble yourself. Find a mentor, reach out to somebody who has reached that pinnacle of success that you strive to be at, and say, hey, I come to you humbly. I want to be in the space that you're in. I'm having some problems making the connection, and I want to grow in this area. How can I serve you? How can I work with you? And I think oftentimes we have a hard time doing that. We have a hard time submitting to others, and to taking a step back into saying, okay, listen, in this particular area of life, I don't have it all together. I may be winning when it comes to fitness. I got my 6-pack, but guess what? My finances are struggling, and so I need somebody to help walk me through this and guide me through that. So that is a very quick and very brief overview of an application of the principle, the concept, 5 pillars of pretty. So again, I worked through this with a gentleman not too long ago, and I got to check in with him, honestly, and see if he's employed any of these tactics that we worked together to talk about. So that hopefully gives you a bit of an idea of the concept, the 5 pillars of pretty, and how it's employed. It's heavy, I won't lie, it's a heavy one, and that's part of the reason why I created this course, Beautifully Balanced, because in the course what we do, again, it's 5 weeks, and so we take each area, each pillar of pretty, and we break it down per week. So week 1, of course, is faith, because that's number 1, and we spend an entire session, which is between an hour to an hour and a half, just in a group coaching setting. So you have that layer of accountability. You have other people there that are going through the same issues that you are, similar situations, that can chime in and help you, to provide resources, and just, to support you most of all. But we spend a good chunk of time live in a group coaching session, and we work through it. We talk about faith and how it works, and figuring out your purpose and getting clear in that, and identifying your passions versus your purpose. Building faith, as you may need it, because honestly, it's the basis for everything. Because if you don't see yourself as God sees you, you're not gonna win. You're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna struggle, and even in the times when you don't see yourself as worthy or capable or enough, having that reminder of, okay, I may not feel my best right now, but God believes in me, and God knows that I can, and God purposed me for this thing. This is something that I share with the attendees of the webinar as well, because prior to it, I was freaking out. Like I was literally breaking out into a sweat. I'm like, oh God, like, should I cancel this webinar? Is anybody going to join? Like, I was legit scared, just really, really nervous. But I was like, you know what, Ariane, you got to do this afraid. You may not feel like you're enough. You may not feel like you have enough value to add, but God has called you to do this particular thing, and you have to see it through. So I did it. I logged on. People logged on with me, and I was nervous for 98% of the webinar. And even though I had self-doubt and fear trying to overwhelm me, I was able to combat that mentally, because I was reminding myself that God called me to do this very thing, that God purposed me for this, that God believes I am worthy, that He loves me, that He thinks I'm capable. So even in those moments of self-doubt, I can trust and rely on what He thinks of me when I don't think so highly of myself. So I'm not going to break down every single week, because clearly this can go deep and I can talk long. But so we spend 5 weeks focusing on this. So what you get is one day, or one live session where I break down one particular pillar. We, throughout the week, have daily interaction via a private Facebook group, as well as a private text messaging service. So you have access to me, and also to your other classmates that are a part of the class with you. You can text, you can, post. If you need to reach out to me, you have access to, so that whatever your issues are, this is not just a class designed to pump you with information. This is interactive. This is like serious level of accountability, which is why I am seriously screening every single person that wants to participate, because you have to do the work. There's things that are going to be required of you. You say you want to reach these goals. I'm going to ask you, just like I asked this young man, what have you done? I'm going to give you ideas. I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to give you every resource that I have accessible to me, but I'm going to expect you to do the work. So we have the call, we have the daily interactions. I'm going to pop in some hosts, because there's certain areas that I know a lot about, but I know some people that know some people that know even more. And so it's my goal to connect the dots for you and help you, and to introduce you to people that are experts in their field of fitness, finance, mental health, all of those areas. So you don't only get access to me and the other women that are a part of the call, you also get access to these other individuals that are going to help you, and who are invested in making sure that you reach your goals. And so that's it. We do that, and then we go through our 5-week journey together. After that, you are rolled over into my community, which is titled the Holistic Beauty Collective, and you're a lifetime member. Like, you don't get to shake me. You got me for life. I'm going to always check in. I'm going to always want to know how you're doing. I'm going to always be committed to serving you and the community as a whole, and I'm going to always provide resources. So as I grow, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to always be looking for ways to provide training and services, and also, like I said, bringing in other individuals. So there is a lot to be gained. And that is it, you guys. I think I pretty much broke down all of my notes and touched on every single thing that was important. I really wish you guys could have made it to the webinar, but we'll do another one another time. So yeah, with the community, you get the weekly live group coaching calls, daily accountability check-ins, added value from guest partnerships and speakers, and then, like I said, lifetime membership to community, which I think honestly is where the real magic happens. Like I said, when we're in isolation, when our head is down and we're trying to get through this thing independently, that's where we struggle. So having a group of people that love you, that support you, that are encouraging you, really truly is where the magic happens. So If you are interested in joining or interested in learning more about the community, you can visit www.theholistic, Lord have mercy, I didn't change the name. You can visit, I'm sorry, y'all, www.theholisticbeautycollective.com. There'll be a link inside of this email that's coming out to you. You can simply click it, learn more about it. There are 2 payment options. I am running a special for Black Friday, which is now past, but Cyber Monday, which will be by the time you get this, it'll be today. But there is a special. It is normally priced at $9.97. But I am offering a special for $4.97, and if you need a payment plan, I got you on that as well. You can do 3 payments of $200. Again, we start at the beginning of January, so we are going in and kicking this new year door down, and we are attacking all of our goals. Aggressively. We're gonna get it done. So I'm excited, and I desperately want to work with you and to help you make those connections and grow with you. So again, I am easily reached. Reply to this email that this message came in. Reach out to me on Instagram. It's just my name, Ariane.Turner, ARIANE.TURNER. Send me a DM. There's an option to also text me. I would love to hop on a call with you. I would love to talk about some of your needs and talk to you about how I think this program would be a great fit. And for those of you that are ready, the option is open. Won't you come, join, share with a friend, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.